If we're gonna stop the crooks, us cops gotta know who they are. That's the rock crusher. No jail can hold him. And here's Berserko, a dangerous street punk.
Meanwhile, at the Crooks hideout.
Look out for Long Arm. He's a tough street cop. Sergeant Mace, the SWAT team leader. And Bulletproof's a federal agent.
Give up, you crooks. You're surrounded by the cops.
Cops and crooks each sold separately with gas.
What is up, my ninjas? What you see in front of you is a portion of the world's most advanced crime-fighting organization, known as COPS, the Central Organization of Police Specialists. That is their leader, Baldwin P. Vess, aka Bulletproof. Now, this was a show that came out in the 80s. I'm a huge fan of it, as you can tell. And this year, I'm going to spend a lot of time collecting them. As it stands, I already have every vehicle that I wanted, with the exception of 2 of them. I think there were about 9 vehicles. This guy in black with the huge beef eater, his name is Heavyweight. He drives one of those vehicles. It's called the Paddy Wagon. The only figure here, when I was a kid, we had about 3 COPS figures. We had Bulletproof, Long Arm, maybe more, a few more. I had Bulletproof, I had Long Arm, and I also had Bowser and Blitz. Isn't that awesome? Cybernetic dog. It's badass. Anyway, Bulletproof is the only one that is one of my originals. He is the original from when I was a kid. Complete with glued legs and everything, and I'm going to show you all that right now. You see, we super glued the hell out of his legs because, yeah, he took a beating. So one of his legs still works. So I might transplant those, get a new Bulletproof, you know, cheap one that's like, technically it would be fodder, and then just rebuild my Bulletproof. You know, he is cybernetic. But anyway, this collection of figures is so freaking awesome. They're the successor to G.I. Joe, technically. They just didn't get to take off the way G.I. Joe did because, as I was saying, Hasbro was more concerned with trying to get new stuff off the ground. They were trying to get, I think they were called Air Raiders. Trying to get the Air Raiders off the ground. And I thought that was a dumb idea. It was easily one of the worst ideas they've had. COPS was a good idea. COPS was a good franchise. The cartoon was kind of goofy, so I can understand why a lot of kids didn't quite, it didn't catch on with kids the way they were expecting. But I mean, you can't put comedy in everything. You know, this was at the time when like movies like RoboCop were big, and so in my universe, that was kind of how we played. Our cops were in a serious future where, you know, crime is rampant, and you have this notorious criminal that's doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and the mayor is like, yo, we need help. So we're going to get this federal agent, which is Bulletproof, to come in and help us handle our crime problem. What I'm going to do is this year, like I said, my goal is to finish this collection. Right now, I have just about almost all the cops. Like I said, I have all the vehicles. The interesting ones, at least in my opinion. I didn't like the Pursuit Jet, and I didn't like the Roadster, the smaller Crooks Roadster. But right now, I need a couple more cops. I think I have Sundown. He was the Texas Ranger or U.S. Marshal. He's on the way. He should be coming this week, and along with Cuckoo, which is another one of the crooks that showed up later on. And yes, they did call their villains crooks. But that's what I dug about the show. The show had a really cool 1920s, 30s sensibility, even though it was set in the future. You can tell just by looking at the spats on Bulletproof's feet, or even the police getup that Long Arm is wearing. So, and then other characters, they just went, you know, full on future, and that's why I cottoned it, or, you know, I like to parallel it with RoboCop. And when I was a kid, I had RoboCop. Guess what? What? I still have RoboCop. Good old Robo. So he could be involved in some of these stories when me and my son play, because I am going to introduce this, and I have been introducing all this stuff to my 11-year-old. He likes it, but he admits that it's kind of goofy, and that's the only part that he kind of has issues with. He's kind of like, why did they make the show so goofy? And that's how I feel. Anyway, what I want to do is I'm going to review one of the figures real quick, and I'll start with Long Arm, because Long Arm, I did a custom job on him because the Long Arm that I received, he wasn't complete, so I had to kind of add things to the figure so that he would be complete, you know, from his nightstick tonfa piece to his power cuffs, even his hat. That hat actually came with Heavyweight, and instead I ended up taking that off of Heavyweight because it just looks better. To me, Heavyweight looks cooler and more hardcore without his, blue hat when he's wearing all black. And Long Arm looks like he should be dressed head to toe in his police gear, so I did that. So I am going to review Long Arm. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it. And in the weeks to come, I will be reviewing more of these, old school figures. So stay tuned.
Take a good look, man. I want you to know what you're up against. Here's Big Boss, leader of the Crooks.
Meanwhile, at the Crooks hideout,
Learn this face. Sundown for the sheriff.
cops and crooks sold separately with cap guns and caps.